right, this is competition 3, the district championship competition, written round, from 2009, 2010, right, written round. So the numbers a and b are consecutive positive integers, and a is less than the square root of 250, which is less than b. What is the sum of a and b? So in this problem, you're being asked if you know your square numbers. Well, I know that a is going to, of course, I'm just going to move this around. Yeah, let's go with red. We know that a is going to be 15. Why do I know a is going to be 15? Because this 15 squared is 225. And then 16, the square root of, 16 squared is going to be 256. So we know that b is 16 because which is equal to the square root of 256. So therefore we're looking for the sum. Sum means adding. So 15 plus 16 is 31. How many square inches are in 6 square feet? Ooh, scale factor problem. This is a tough one if you don't remember this. So if I draw this out, I have let's see, a foot, 1 foot by 1 foot. This has an area of 1 foot squared. Well, how many inches are in a foot? 12, right? So you have 12 inches, 12 inches. So there are 144 inches inside of 1 square foot. So really, this question is asking you to multiply 6 times 144. So we go 4, carry the 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, carry the 2, 6 plus 2 is 8. So there are 824 square inches in a square foot. 864. Oh, sorry, I have 864. One of these days I'll tell you the story of the worst grade I ever got in a math test. It was a D. Why was it a D? Because I worked so fast that I didn't check my work. And I had the right answers, I just didn't write them in the right slot. Okay, find the sum of this sequence. Okay, folks, this one you really need to know by now. We need to take the sum of the first and last number, so 190 plus 22 is going to be 212. We need to know the counting number, and the counting number in this case is 14. And we need to know the range. And the range in this case is 190 minus 22, which is going to be 170, 168. All right, so let's do it the algorithm. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing, I'm going to have an algorithm that does this. I'm essentially doing 190, whatever comes here, all the way down to 22, and I'm going to add these together. And obviously, each sum is going to be 210. And so the question is, how many sums of 210 do I have, right? And so to figure that out, I have to take my range and divide it by the counting number. And so we have 168 divided by the counting number 14. And 14 goes into 16 once, carry the 2, which goes in. So you have 12 groups. But wait, that is not fully accurate. What that means is there are 12 spaces in between. It does not count your starting value. So I don't have 12 groups. I actually have 12 plus 1 group, which is 13 groups. So I have 13 groups of 212. But I don't want the sum of this sequence down here. This sequence is always twice the original sequence because I have the original sequence plus the same sequence that I wrote just in reversed order. So I only want half of this. It's easier to divide before you multiply. So half of 212 is 106 times 13. So we have 18, carry the 1, that's 3, 0, 6, 0, 1. So it's a 6, folks. So you have 8, 7, 3, 1. All right. Yes, ma'am?
Can I do my leadership notebook now?
Okay. Now, for those of you who love algorithms, what I did here was I said we have the range divided by the counting number plus 1 times the sum divided by 2. So this is the algorithm you could also use, and that's why I started to set this up. But then I thought we should probably explain why it is the way it is. Okay, the mean of 5 numbers is 13. The largest is removed. The mean of the remaining numbers is 12. What was removed? Well, so if I have 5 numbers and it has a mean of 13, that means I have the sum of all of the numbers is going to be 5 times 13, which is 5, carry the 1, 65. And the largest number has been removed, and now the mean is 12, which means I have 4 numbers that have a sum of 48. Therefore, the number that I have removed is going to be the difference between my original sum and my second sum. So that goes in to 15 7 times. That's now a 5. So I took a 17 out. Write your answer on the blank. All right. Number 5. A line has a slope of -5/3. I hate that slanted slash mark, so I'm going to say, so m is equal to that. If the points -10 and 17 and 2 and y are on the line, what is the value of y? All right, so there are a couple ways you could do this. The easiest way is to make an equation. So I know that y is equal to mx plus b because this is a line. And I know that m is right there. So I have y is equal to -5/3 x plus b. Now I know one of the points right here, and it's complete. So we know that points are written in x comma y form. And so my y value is 17. So 17 is equal to -5/3 times my x value, which is -10, plus b. All right, great. I love fractions. So we have, I'm just going to multiply it out. Give myself some room over here. So we have 17 is equal to positive, because a negative times a negative is a positive, 50 over 3 plus b. 50 over 3. Well, how many times? Well, that goes in 16 times with 2 remaining. So really, that's 17 is equal to 16 and 2/3. I did that so quickly because I know 3 times 17 is 51. So there we go. Well, that means that if I subtract 16 and 2/3 from both sides, I will get 1/3 is equal to b. So now I have an equation. My magic equation is y is equal to -5/3 x minus 1/3. And I'm now trying to plug in my, excuse me? Oh, plus 1/3, I'm sorry. Do as I did, not as I say. Plug in 2 as our x value. So we have y is equal to -5/3 times 2 plus 1/3. Well, so I have y is equal to -10 over 3 plus 1/3, which means I have y is equal to -9 over 3. Oh, but wait a second. That's just -3. So that means my y value for number 5 is -3. And okay. All right, number 6. Express the binary number in as a base 3 numeral. All right, the world runs on 1s and 0s. It really, really does. So over here we have, I'm going to try and make this even smaller. Okay, so this is 2 to the 0, which is 1. This is 2 to the first, which is 2. This one is 2 to the second, which is better known as 4. And the pattern will continue. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 32, 64, which means I have one group of 64. 1 times 64 is 64. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. So that means I have 9 plus 4 is 13, 3. So in base 10, I have 73. But that's not what it's asking. That's not what it's asking. It's asking, what is the number in base 3? So now I need to convert this number into base 3. So I need to set up my little placeholders. So 3 to 0 is 1. 3 to the first is 3. 3 to the second is 9. And continue the pattern, 27. 27 times 3 is 81. But do I have any groups of 81 and 73? The answer is no, I do not. So, yes, you can. So I know that I'm not going to have any in this place, so I'm just going to scratch it out. So how many groups of 27 do I have in 73? The answer is 2, because I don't have 3 groups. 2 times 27 is, just bring that over. 2 times 27 is 4, carry the 1, so that's 5. So I subtract. So I have 19 remaining. Well, how many groups of 9 are in 19? 2. And 2 times 9 is 18. So I get 1. How many groups of 3 are in 1? That would be a big fat 0. How many groups of 1 are in 1? 1. So my final answer is 2,201. All right, number 7. Express in simplest radical form. So we have the square root of 1,323. So the trick here is I need to have a number that is a perfect square that goes into that. Well, I know 9 goes into 1,323, and I know that because 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 is 9, and 9 is divisible by 9. So the square root of 9 times the square root of, well, I need to divide this by 9. 9 goes into 13 once with 4 remaining. 9 goes into that 4 times with 7 remaining. 9 goes in. Okay, I've done something wrong. There's 6. There you go. 7 times. All right, so the square root of 9 is 3 times 147.
That's what I got.
That's what Clark got. That's right, folks. That is what Clark got. Aiden, go. Here you go, Aiden, right here. Woohoo! Okay, here. What? Okay. But wait a second. There's more. 147. 147. That. 49 goes into that one.
Does?
49 does, yes, because it's 3 less from 150. And 150 times 3, yeah. All right, so we can break that up into the square root of 49 times the square root of 3. So square root of 49 is 7 times square root of 3. But wait, we have this 3 that we need to bring down as well. So 3 times 7 is 21, square root of 3. How's it going?
I'm going great.
Do you want to say anything?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go over. 2 angles are supplementary. Now, supplementary means they add up to 180.
Yay, I got it.
Supplementary is 180. Complementary is 90. One angle measures 12 more than the other. So, the fact that they're supplementary means they have 180 as a sum. And it says that one angle is 12 more than twice the other angle. So that means that the big angle is equal to the small angle 12 more than twice the small angle. I believe that is correct, right?
Did you have grade on written yet?
Yes, we have.
I was like, where did you go?
All right. So, what do we need to do here? Right now, this is when I have so many kids in my classroom that I'm starting to get distracted. So, never a good thing when you're making a video. All right. So that means that we have a small angle plus 2s plus 12. So I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that, but we'll get there. S plus s is 3s plus 12 is equal to 180. Train tracks minus 12 minus 12. So that's 168 is equal to 3s divided by 3 divided by 3. So 3 goes into that 5 times, carry the 1, 6. So the smaller angle is 56. What does the measure of the of course it wants the larger angle. So now I have to do the next step of 180 minus 56. But notice how I got to an answer and then I reread the problem to make sure I was answering the problem that was asked. That is a really important skill. So the angle that I'm missing, the larger angle, is 124. All right. A bag contains 5 reds, 3, 6, okay, I can't remember this. So 5 reds, 6 blues, 4 greens. 2 blocks are drawn randomly. What was the problem? They'll both be green. All right, so the first time that we draw green, we have 4 out of 15. The second time I draw, I will only have 3 green marbles, and I will only have 14 in the bag. So now it's time to multiply. Now the easiest thing to do is to reduce first. I notice that 3 goes into 15 5 times, and that's my 1. Now, and I realize that both of these share a factor of 2. So now I've made a much easier problem. My goodness, that blue really buzzes when you look at it on the yellow. Sorry, I will not use it again. 2 times 1 is 2. And so there we go. All right, number 10. What is the diameter of a circle that has an area of 196 pi? Well, 196 pi. Well, we know that area is equal to pi. I'm breaking my promise. Area is equal to pi r squared. And so my area, where's my area? Is 196 pi is equal to pi times the radius squared. Well, pi divided by, they cancels out, right? So I have 196 is equal to r squared. Well, square root, and I know off the top of my head that the square root of 196 is 14. I'm sure you know that too. So r is 14, therefore my diameter is going to be twice 14, which is going to be 28. All right. Last problem, and many of us got this wrong. So we need to have a little review on scientific notation. First, in scientific notation, you can only have 1 digit to the left of the decimal place. You can have multiple digits here, but you have to have 1 here. That is mandatory. You have to use a multiplication x, and you're going to have 10 and that blank. All right. So this is kind of like a Mad Lib. My daughter loves Mad Libs. And you're going to fill in these blanks into this sentence stem, this mathematical sentence stem. Now, going back to the problem, we have 3.9 over 5 times 10 to the 7th over 10 to the 11th. So let's go ahead and divide this out. 5 goes into 39 roughly 7 times, with 4/5 remaining. Well, 4/5 is 0.8, right? So we have 0.78. Over here, you know that we're going to have to subtract the exponents because the bases are the same. 7 minus 11 is 4. More to the point, -4. So we have 0.78 times 10 to the -4th. We saw a lot of these answers. But wait. You have to have 1 digit to the left of the decimal place, which means we need to move this over 1. We're making this bigger. So for making this side bigger, we have to make this number smaller. So we have 7.8, so essentially we're dividing by 10, times 10 to the negative 5th to accommodate this movement right here. All right. The second page will be on a separate video.